everybody, and welcome to the Dawn Dimension. Today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience with my 2006 Honda Civic Si. So overall, it's been a really great car. I got it about 9 months ago, last summer. But today I just want to go over 5 things that I dislike about my Honda Civic Si. So to start out with, this doesn't apply to everyone, but people that live where the winter has snow, this can apply to you guys. So when it snows, this car is not ideal. It is front wheel drive, but it's a little bit lighter, like 2,700 pounds. And my tires aren't the best. I mean, my tires, granted, they're all season tires, but they're a little bit worn. I'll probably replace them. But you just have to be really careful when driving this in the winter. Maybe start in second gear, just driving like one higher gear than you normally would on a nice road. So yeah, the tires slip easily. It's not the best at clearing snow piles. Like, if the snow is pretty high, if you try to change lanes, it'll try to follow the grooves, the tire marks, or tire tracks. That's pretty low to the ground. It's not as low as some cars, but I expected it to be a little bit better in the snow when I got it. So yeah, that's for winter. It's just not great. You should be able to make do, but you can't really drive too confidently. You have to be pretty good with the manual to drive this in the winter effectively. The second thing I don't like about this also applies more to people that live in a cooler climate. When it's cold out, when you first start this, many cars, they don't run as well when you first start them, but this one, like when you're in lower gears, it'll kind of like, it won't run smoothly. It'll kind of go like, the revs will be like, vroom, vroom, vroom. Well, basically it runs like worse than other cars when it's cold out, when it first starts. And also, when it's cold, third gear likes to slip out a little bit. So you really have to be forceful when you're putting in a third gear and just watch it. It's nothing you can't get used to, but it's just a little annoying. Something to keep in mind. And the third thing, and this is kind of a two-sided coin, this looks basically undistinguishable from a normal Honda Civic, besides the SI badge, basically. So a lot of people, they think this car is lame, which, some people might like that it's a sleeper, that it kind of blends in. And I'm kind of in the middle there. Like, sometimes it's cool when a car person recognizes what this car is and says it's cool, but most people, they think it's just a Civic. Like, oh, I've been in a Civic before, I don't need to see what that car is all about. So if you are someone that wants recognition, or wants someone to appreciate your car, you're not going to get much appreciation for this from other people. So buying this car is more about you. What do you like? What car will make you happy? So that's why the Civic Si would be on the top of someone's list to buy, as if it's what they really want. You won't really be able to impress anybody with this car until you show them the VTEC. That would require them to actually be in the vehicle with you. But yeah, compared to the normal Civic, which only has like 140 horsepower, this one is much better with 197 horsepower. So, plus they're both really light. So this car is really quick, so you could just prove it to them if they think it's just a Civic, if you need to. The next gripe I have with this car has to do with the back seat space. Yes, I never sit back there, but if I'm going to have any more than one friend in this car with me, someone's going to have to go back there. And it's not very comfortable. I've tried sitting back there, not much leg room. It's not the worst of all cars, like that 2017 Camaro I reviewed. That has less space, but this isn't great. And yes, if you're planning ahead, you could get the Civic Si sedan, but I got the coupe because I thought it looked a little sportier. So yeah, the backseat space is not great, and that's gonna hold you back if you wanna, go on road trips with your friends. It's good for a pinch, like just a short trip to somewhere in town. But it's still usable, so it's better than just a car with no back seat at all. And the last thing is changing the oil on this wasn't very fun for me, and my dad helped me out, and we kind of winged it, and we basically had to get at the oil filter, and it's kind of buried. It's really hard to get at. And I looked later, some people, they remove the tire and then you can get at it easier, but it's just a little more work than a lot of other cars. So that's just something to keep in mind. Maybe you can just get someone to service it, or you're just really good at maintenance and that's not a bother for you. But just something to keep in mind before you buy a car that you plan on changing the oil. Maybe just look online to see how a lot of the maintenance is done for that vehicle. So that's really all the things I dislike about the Civic. Overall, it's a really great car. Just a few things to keep in mind if you are interested in purchasing the 8th generation Civic Si. I mean, it's way more fun than a normal Civic, so keep that in mind. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it slightly informative. Anyways, have a nice day.